We're still golden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back. We're here for another review. We're going to be doing The Button. It's a Batman and Flash crossover. We have Batman 21 and 22 and Flash 21 and 22. It's a 4-part issue. And, well, we'll try to explain it again through non-spoilers, general impression, into a full spoiler review. I have Andrew here again.
Yep.
So we're going to be going over the story, and he's going to just ask any kind of questions. So, anyway, so as a general story, I thought the story was actually pretty impressive. Watching Batman and Flash, interact with each other and investigate the Button. So, as if you guys read, the Button is a big part of the Rebirth story. I won't explain just yet how it's affecting everything, but basically, they're investigating it because it's affecting them, and they're trying to realize why, and they're trying to wonder why. And it goes into a full, story and adventure for them to figure out what's going on. And the story was really impressive. It was a little lackey, but because it should have had a lot more with it, but it was impressive. I liked the crossover, the team up, seeing familiar villain, seeing these two team up, seeing more of interactions with both of them, and a little bit, with Batman's inner, side. Because, it's basically a Flash story with Batman a tag along. Because, the world's greatest detective with the world's fastest spine.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to see. So, but, there's not too much I can say about, it without spoiling it.
Spoiler time.
So, it's time to hop into the spoilers. Before we hop in, do you have any questions?
Hopefully they'll all get answered during the spoiler part of the section.
You have no questions?
Not yet. I don't really know that. It's
Okay.
maybe when I...
So, basically, the Button, guys. This is straight spoilers.
What's the Button? That's my question. There you go.
Okay. The Button is from The Watchmen. The Watchmen is a different book.
Yeah.
It's part of it's a whole different universe that's created by DC, actually. The Watchmen have Mr. Manhattan, Rorschach. There we go. I was drawing a blank. A bunch of different people. And they interact with each other differently, too. They're a lot more brutal in that time. There's not, real super powered beings in that time, either. It's more like Dr. Manhattan is the only superpower being. He's like God, almost.
Wasn't there a movie about that?
Yeah.
That did not do so well?
No, it did really good. It was based off well, a lot of people didn't like it because it was based off the entire comic. Literally,
Okay.
panel for panel of the comic was in that movie.
Yeah, I remember. I heard that was not that great.
So, but anyway, they're investigating the Button, and when Batman was looking at it, it zapped him and showed him his father in the Bat outfit.
That must have been weird.
It was really weird. So, and he was like, Barry, I need you to come over here. I need help investigating something. He's like, I'm kind of in the middle of something. I'm fighting semi-droids or something. Samurais that are robot samurais.
Yeah.
And he was like, can you give me a little bit? He was like, how long's a little bit? And he's like, give me a minute. I'll be there. He's like, okay. And then you see a timer pop up in the corner from 60 seconds. It goes 59, 58, and all you hear is whoosh. Basically, speedster's there. And Batman's like, when you said a minute, I was expecting you to be a lot later than this. And he was like, a lot later than this, Flash. And when he says that, he's like, Flash? He was like, I'm not Flash. And then he hits him, and he's like, I'm quite the reverse. And it's reverse Flash. And I was like, oh, shit.
That's an epic little thing going on there.
And for a little bit, he actually beats the hell out of Bruce. Reverse Flash is just beating them up.
That's something I would like to see Reverse Flash and Batman go at it.
He was just beating them up for a little bit. Just tossing them back and forth. He vibrated when Batman tried to dive at him. And then he grabbed the note from his father from Flashpoint and shredded it in front of him. Exactly. And Batman was like, leave my cave. He was like, you think you have power over me? He was like, that wasn't a question. He's like, leave my cave. And they start fighting back and forth, and Batman actually gets some hits in now.
There you go.
Because he's vibrating, right? So he's like, you can't hit me. He was like, yeah, but in order for you to stand on the ground and all this stuff's going through you, he was like, wouldn't you need to stay solid somewhere? And Reverse Flash looks at him, he's like, what? And he puts the bat the Batarang, the sharp
Yeah.
part of it, through his foot. Brutal.
Damn.
So, anyway,
Golly,
they
sick.
fight back and forth a little bit to where Batman's on the ground nearly dying. Reverse Flash disappears and comes back, and he's like, "No, it's God." He was like, "I can't believe this," and then his body starts to vaporize, and all you see is bones. Crazy.
Jeez.
So, but that's how the first comic ends.
Okay.
Then we go into the second part. Barry pops up there, brings him, to the bed. He starts giving him medical attention, and they're talking back and forth. And Barry's like, the only way we should probably do this. Well, he leaves him. He doesn't actually tell him everything. He's like, the way we should do this is probably me going back in time. I need to go get the the treadmill.
Yeah.
The treadmill is what he uses to travel back in time. He hops on the treadmill and he starts running on it. Well, he goes to the trophy room to go get to the treadmill. Batman runs in behind him. He's like, "You didn't think you were going to leave me, right?"
Huh.
And he's like, "You're still banged up." He was like, "We're doing this together. This is our mission." And Barry's like, "All right, whatever. Fine, come on, let's go." So he hops onto the treadmill, and he's like, "I just hope you can keep up." He's like, "Don't worry about me." He jumps on,
Yeah.
throws his grappling hook, and kind of just glides behind him as he runs through the timeline.
That's pretty epic. Actually, that looks pretty epic. Like, if I would have watched that.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Just like hearing about it, just
Yeah.
sounds so cool.
I can imagine it.
They run to a timeline to where the treadmill kind of like doesn't break but disperses a
Yeah.
little bit, to where he has to fix it up a little bit.
Okay.
But he's like, "Where are we?" He was like, "Actually, we're still in modern time on this Earth." And he was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "I think it's just a different universe, but they don't know that. It's the Flashpoint universe." So, like,
Oh, shit.
yeah, the timeline that's all messed up. Thomas Wayne is right there in the Batman outfit. From the Flashpoint
Oh, okay, so it
timeline,
ties in there.
the Flashpoint timeline, Bruce Wayne dies instead of Thomas and Martha.
Yeah.
Martha becomes the Joker, Thomas becomes the Batman. It's pretty messed up,
Talk about a turn of events.
right? So, but that's a whole
Oh,
different comic story. So
Sounds like a
basically,
good story.
the Flashpoint stories are absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
But this story now, basically we're hopping into the third part of the comic, and we actually get more into the development of Thomas and Batman, teaming up. Thomas and Bruce are teaming up, and you see Thomas.
That'd be epic.
Thomas pulls out a gun to use, and he's like, "All right, let's do this." And you see Batman throw a Batarang at him, and he was like, "No." He was like, "You're my father," blah blah blah, and they fight side by side. And just before they leave, Bruce is like, he's like, "Dad, come with me." And his dad's like, "No." He was like, "This is where my time ends. Now that I got to see you one more time, I don't have to worry about anything else." He's like, "But I need you to do me one more favor before you leave." And he's like, "Dad, come with me." He was like, "You need to come with me. I need to have my dad in my life."
Yeah.
And he's like,
That must be hard.
He was like, "I need
imagine going through that.
and he was like, "I need just one thing from you." And he's like, "What?" And he was like, "Stop being Batman and live a normal life." I was like,
Mm,
holy shit.
it's gonna be a no.
Well, he actually questions it. So, but we get further into the story, basically following through with all this stuff that should be done. They're running through it, and Jay Garrick tries to use Barry as an anchor. Too bad that Barry wasn't his anchor, because when he pulls back, he saves them.
Yeah.
But he goes back into the Speed Force and he's gone again. So we don't know where he is or if he's coming back or whatever the case is. All I know is he's gone again. Kind of sad, because I really like him. But the story ends with basically Batman questioning if he really wants to quit being Batman again. If he really wants to quit being Batman.
So it's kind of like a cliffhanger thing.
Yeah, it kind of shows that. I mean, I didn't read too much into Batman to know if he doesn't really quit being Batman. But
well,
But
I
I mean,
hope not.
22 ends like that, and it's a
Yeah.
really, really good comic. I recommend anyone to read this comic. If you think it's gonna tie in with like a greater purpose of the story, it's really not. It's just a fun comic to read. It's really interesting. It has some real good moments. It definitely fits in. But if you, like I said, if you're expecting like some dramatic story or something crazy, this is not the comic for you. It's just a fun comic to read. They kind of run back. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the Reverse Flash, they actually follow him through the timeline, and they see a little glimpse of what killed him. They don't see what killed him, but they see that he was killed.
Oh, well, that's something they could explain in another one.
Yeah.
So, that's awesome.
But basically, that's just the moral of the whole comic is. It was just a time to try to run after Reverse Flash to see what killed him. So it's not a dramatic story. Nothing really happens. Nothing really affects the timeline besides Reverse Flash technically dying.
It's just kind of a fun read.
Yeah, it's just a fun comic to read, guys. It's nothing serious. It's pretty cool. We get to see Flashpoint again, and that's about it. If you like this review, guys, it's really good. I definitely rate this book maybe a 7 out of 10 for the 4 issues, and it's only because it's a 7 out of 10 that it's not connected to the full story. If it was connected as a full story purpose, it'd probably get a 9. But
Yeah.
since it's not, it's a 7. And the story was interesting. I definitely recommend you read it if you're into those fun little comics, the little crossovers, the little silly things to happen. If you like more videos like this, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and join us for our next videos. We plan on doing some more Mad Libs, and I'll try to get out the Doomsday Clock for you guys so you know what's going on with that. Till next time.